Some projects start with an idea. This one started with a feeling that I'd been playing it safe for too long. I spent 2 years chasing special effects instead of mastering the basics, and somewhere along the way, I developed a genuine fear of a simple brush. You and me, how about to fight fire with fire? Today, we are not painting a model. Today, we are painting what doesn't exist. We are painting light itself. It's good to be back, and I think this is the right project to come back with. I have an idea in mind, so let's see what lies in the combat patrol box. I'm looking for a model with a dynamic pose, a fighting stance, and Tyranid will make for good victims. A Van Ryan Sleeper and some Reapers. In the end, I went with the Space Marine Librarian and some added effects. I'm on a path to change the way I approach painting. Today, we focus on the most important subject in the matter, values. Value management is such a big deal that it takes up almost half of the Figopedia book I've been studying. The core idea, you can have a rough technique, even questionable color choices, but if your values are solid, the piece will still read well. So first, I need to get this idea down on paper and figure out if it's even doable. I've got a round wooden display base, and I want it to become part of the scene itself, the way you sometimes see in the painting competitions. The plan is to have the Space Marine and the Reaper fighting on top of a cluster of round rocks. That's the image I had in my head from the start, though, as you'll see, it ends up being less of a fight than something else. The whole scene will be surrounded by water, with the Reapers slowly making their way up to the surface. And let me be upfront about something, crafting-wise, this is going to be far from perfect. But that's fine. I'm not here for perfection, I'm here to conquer my fear of the brush. One more thing, we are setting this scene at night, which changes everything color-wise. Forget bright skin tones, brown leather, gold NMM. We are working entirely in shades of blue now, from black to white. Alright, sit back, relax, and let's craft the scene. Time for an upgrade. This will help. As it's known in this hobby, buying stuff always helps. There. Perfect. I'm ready to get painting. Except not. Something happened, and it swallowed me again. I don't know about you, but with me, there are no half measures. I'm unable to balance gaming and painting. That's why I haven't played any video game in 10 months, focusing on my painting videos. So if you wonder why I was gone for a few weeks, this is it. And I also tried to travel a bit. It didn't really work out. Let's get to painting. I'm gonna be using a few different blues in order to practice, starting from dark Prussian blue all the way to white. When painting under moonlight, you should use more purple, but I worked with what I had. I imagine the moonlight hitting the scene from the top right, so I'll have to position my highlights and shadows accordingly. This will be a huge learning experience, but that's not all. I'll be rough on purpose, not working on the gradients. High value jumps will force me to be careful where I put them. Value just means how light and dark something is, completely separate from its colors. Here's a simple way to think about it. If you took a photo of your model and turned it to black and white, would it still make sense? Would your eyes still know where to look? What's close, what's far, what's lit, and what's in shadow? That's values doing their job. Our eyes are actually way more sensitive to changes in value than changes in color. That's theory. In practice, I will push my highlights brighter on top of the scene and the shadows darker at the bottom. Well, I'll try to at least. Basically, this means not pushing highlights all the way to white on a spot that's not receiving full light. And the best part about this, we get to be creative and cheat a little. Following pure zenithal light is not the way to go. You can, and you must, take some liberties to bring out interesting parts and details. And finally, I'll push it a bit further with glowing runes and other effects. For the base layers, the big value transitions, dark to light, I reached for the airbrush. It's smooth, controlled, lets me build up these soft gradients that would take forever, and probably look patchy if I tried them freehand. And once that airbrush work was down, I just sat there, looking at it, because the next step was supposed to be going over it with a brush, edge highlights, texture, all the small value adjustments that make the surface look real, but I couldn't do it. Every time I picked up the brush, I hesitated, because the moment that brush touches the model, it leaves a mark, a stroke, something with my hand in it. And next to these smooth, even almost machine-made airbrush gradients, a brush stroke just feels different, rougher, more exposed. And I think that's the thing that's been blocking me this whole time. It was never really about ruining the airbrush work, it was about what it would look like once I was visibly part of it. The airbrush gives you this clean result, where it's hard to tell a human was even involved. The brush doesn't let you hide like that. On this project, I finally just did it anyway. Picked up the brush, went over those airbrushed values, and yeah, it looked different. Rougher in places, more me. But it also looked alive in a way the airbrush alone never could. And that's the main lesson for me today. If I start with the airbrush first, then I must go gentle with regular brush highlights after. Stay on the edges. What I should have been doing is first layering with the brush, then use the airbrush, if needed, to improve the gradients. And honestly, that's something I couldn't see all this time painting Necrons, so if you want my advice, if you want to start this hobby for the painting, start with something else. Space Marines are perfect for learning. Lots of variety in details and, more importantly, geometry. But this project was a necessary step, a foundation to know exactly what I must focus on to improve. Tell me, where are you in this journey? Something still blocking you? A simple technique you're afraid of? Did you overcome this fear? Let's change things up a little. The image I had in mind had the scene sitting on round mossy polished rocks. This will change everything. The base will look less like it's lit by the moon, but it's okay. I really wanted to try this, and as it's a dedicated learning piece, if I don't do it now, I'll never do it. Yes, the paint job is rough, far from perfect, as intended. And it is perfect. You know what? I had an itch. Always wanted to try a diorama like this, and mixing a learning process with it is how I have fun. Learn, try new things, fail, always improve a little. It's one of my roughest paint jobs, yet I've never learned this much. I know what I want to improve on my glow effects and where to learn it from. And I have identified what was keeping me away from learning the basics. And I've never been this excited for what's to come. Right, I'm talking and talking. I should be finishing this project. Blue tinted epoxy it is. And this is a whole new world we enter. It's not my first time using this stuff, but never on this scale. You're about to witness the perfect embodiment of how I function. Try first, ask questions later. PVA usually works for me as a sealant, but this piece is too complex. Let's pour and pray and see you tomorrow. Let's see the damage. I'm surprised. Not as bad as I imagined. I see this as an absolute win. Imperfect. Perfect. A testament of this learning experience. The itch is gone. The fear is gone. Yes, you can see brush marks, like people can see your man boobs and big man nipples at the pool. No shame. Embrace your man tits. Embrace your brush marks. Embrace the imperfection. Can you imagine if everything went smoothly during this project? I would have learned nothing. So go ahead. Fail. You will win. You will learn. You will improve. Thank you for watching and thank you for being here. I'll see you soon for more. Let's take a look at the finished diorama. So until next time, happy painting.